slight problem with the sweating because I have a peculiar medical condition, which is that I don't sweat.
Oh, I still can't get over that. I mean, it's just insane, isn't it? I mean, I'd like to know the truth about his sweating beyond anything else. Anyway, welcome back to the Late Show Live. I'm Ben Leo. That, of course, was Prince Andrew's car crash interview with the BBC back in 2019. Big questions tonight on the front page of the Daily Mail and the Times newspaper. I mean, Andrew's scandal just rolls on and on and on. Tonight, big questions being asked about how the Prince will be able to afford his massive house in Great Windsor Park, Royal Lodge. I mean, he rattles round that gaff with Fergie. It's got about 20 rooms as far as I can remember, and it's got a massive maintenance bill as well. Where does he get his money from? The Daily Mail just now look. Just how can Andrew afford the Royal Lodge? Let's get the take of American attorney Lisa Bloom in New York. Lisa, good evening. I'm not sure if you know how Andrew affords Royal Lodge. I'm sure you can't answer that, but this scandal of Prince Andrew just keeps rolling on and on, doesn't it? Where is it going? Where does it end up? And how does it end for Prince Andrew, Lisa?
Well, my perspective is always on behalf of the victims, right? I represented 11 victims of Jeffrey Epstein, and with Virginia Giuffre's book out now, I would really love to see Prince Andrew give an apology and give a detailed response to the allegations that she has against him in the book. I don't think that's going to happen. Perhaps he'll just continue rattling around in that house all by himself.
And that's beyond all the payout, the £12 million payout that was, I think, funded partly by the late Queen, Prince Andrew's mother. Isn't that what the victims, the alleged victims, because Andrew, of course, denies any wrongdoing at all, but isn't that just what Virginia Giuffre wanted beyond anything else, just an apology and some recognition?
Absolutely. You are 100% right. I have represented victims of sexual abuse for many, many years in our civil law system, and that's where you can get money to compensate you for the pain and suffering, and they should get that compensation. But what they always want, and what Virginia wanted, was an acknowledgement that she was telling the truth, that that famous photo of him with his arms around her when she was very young was real. He said it was doctored. And, you know, he has continued to run and hide and not answer questions, and now he's stepping down, but he's continued to avoid these allegations, and I guess that's what he's just going to continue to do for the rest of his life.
Yeah, lots of our viewers, Lisa, they've been saying the last couple of days, look, Prince Andrew has been found guilty of nothing just yet. He is technically an innocent man, but I guess the point is he's been found to have lied in that Newsnight interview. He contacted Epstein after he said he didn't, and well after the fact that he was convicted for sex crimes. So we know he's a liar. Is there any weight in the argument that, yes, Prince Andrew has technically done nothing wrong?
Well, most people don't pay £12 million because they've done nothing wrong, right? Exactly. And I don't think that most reasonable people will look at the whole picture and say he's done nothing wrong. Unfortunately, our court system is terrible for victims of sexual abuse. There are statutes of limitations, time deadlines to file. You have to get a district attorney to go along with it. Sometimes they're very political and they don't want to file charges against somebody like Prince Andrew, a member of the royal family. I can understand why they would not want to do that for diplomatic reasons in the U.S., but I think they should have. We had Virginia Giuffre, before her tragic suicide, was willing to cooperate in the criminal case. I represented a woman who was a witness in the case, who said she was willing to be part of the case and say that she saw the two of them together at a time when Prince Andrew said they were not together. So I think there could have been a case. There wasn't a case, and the fact that he was a royal helped him in that situation.
OK, I'm going to bring my panel in, if you don't mind, Lisa. It's the former Obama policy advisor, Laurie Watkins, and Republican strategist, Matthew Hertz. Welcome, panel. Laurie, you were sort of cheering there at the fact Lisa mentioned the £12 million payout. What was your take on that?
Just because Prince Andrew says that he did not commit these crimes, when they are crimes, because he sexually assaulted, groomed, was part of all of these accusations that are against him. There has been evidence of that, by the way, and you don't just pay somebody off £12 million if you've done nothing wrong. He has committed acts that are predatory. He has lied about it. He has consistently been caught lying. And yes, these are survivors. A lot of these are survivors. I don't like to call them victims. They are survivors of these crimes. I see Lisa shaking her head. They are survivors. And in this country, most people find it hard to even believe a victim. That's that's another reason why it takes them a long time to come forward. And especially the people, the men that are on this list, and my sources tell me, who have had explicit, they've seen this book that's about to come out in 24 hours. I know you said you've seen a copy of it. That it's actually not going to be hard to determine who some of these men are on Democrat, Republican, all across the world, that they have participated in this, and we'll be able to figure out who those people are. These survivors deserve justice and they deserve acknowledgement. And that's why I think a large part of the country is a lot of MAGA supporters are continuing to beat the drum that they want the Epstein files to be released, as promised by Donald Trump, as promised by Pam Bondi, etc. And that has not happened. And last thing I will say is there has to be something there, or why would Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, be willing to shut down the United States government and not swear in a newly elected member of Congress? Because this is the issue.
Laurie, I hear that. Maybe, Matthew, you can answer this. So I hear what Laurie says, and initially I think it's a good point. But why would Trump and MAGA run on a campaign promise last year saying we'll release the Epstein files if they weren't in it and they weren't named in it? Did you see what I'm trying to say? That why would they go along with that and run an election on it if they knew their names were in it? They now just call it a hoax. So what is the thinking, do you think, behind this whole Epstein files scandal?
Well, you won't find any disagreement from me. I am one of those MAGA Republicans who believes that we should get to the bottom of this. And certainly what Lisa said about the £12 million settlement raises serious questions for Prince Andrew. On the state side in the U.S., I don't believe that a Biden administration would not have leaked a list of Republican ne'er-do-wells who were on such a list. So does a list exist? I'm not sure if the list exists in the sense that they're a list of clients. I don't think a business person like Jeffrey Epstein would keep that in writing. I do think, though, a book like what is about to come out will tell stories, and people will be able to tell who those individuals are. And I think it will be embarrassing across the political spectrum. And I think those people should be held accountable.
Lisa, we've got the book actually 24 hours before it's due out on the shelves. I mean, it's pretty grim reading. And I had a couple of questions. One, the name and the title of the book, Nobody's Girl. I mean, I can interpret that in my mind, but what does that mean, Nobody's Girl?
I haven't read the book yet either. I've only read reviews and bullet points, synopses of it, but apparently she was abused by a lot of different people, which is very common and heartbreaking, and so I assume that's where the title comes from. But I also want to respond to your last question about why did Donald Trump run that he was going to release the Epstein files, and then he did an about-face. Well, he ran on a lot of promises that he didn't live up to, like bringing down prices was supposed to be his job on day one. He hasn't paid any attention to that whatsoever. I think what happened was, Pam Bondi, his attorney general, actually looked at the file, which Donald Trump probably had never seen. How would he have seen it? He wasn't in power the last 4 years. And she revealed that he was in it. And that's why he does not want to release it. And also, she would not answer questions from Congress about how Donald Trump was mentioned in there. So that's why. And also, we have that birthday book where there's the page that really looks like it's Donald Trump. He says that's not his signature. Many news organizations have lined up Donald Trump.
He says that's BS, and he's suing over it, doesn't he? He's suing the Washington Post.
He's suing over. He sues every media outlet that looks at him sideways. And, that's part of how he's trying to stifle free speech in America. But many media outlets have actually done the job of lining up his signature from that time period with the signature, and it's identical. And he also did a lot of, ink drawing. So it certainly looks like him. It's possible somebody forged it, but we know he's in those files for sure. Now that he knows that, he does not want to release them. Let's just be clear about that.
Do you? I mean, even if that were all true, I'll go back to Virginia Giuffre very shortly. I've got one more question. But even if that were true, do you think his MAGA supporters care when they see illegal migration down to zero? They see the rhetoric. Yeah.
They don't care that 24 women have accused him of sexual assault. They don't care that a civil jury found him liable of sexual assault, that he defamed the woman that he sexually assaulted. They don't care. Donald Trump once said, I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue. My supporters wouldn't care. And he's right about that. He's absolutely right about that. They do not care.
Yeah, I mean, I think his argument is, and I probably agree with it, that they just want this administration to get on with running the country and doing what they promised to do. And I know lots of people don't agree with what they promised to do and not doing.
They promised to bring prices down. They haven't done that at all.
Yeah, but I guess on the flip side, just for some balance, I guess they've stopped illegal migration, which they said they do as well. Lisa, one more question to you though. With regards to Prince Andrew, is there any scenario where you think legally he would be, I don't know, subpoenaed back to the United States, be forced to speak to the authorities here to do with Epstein again, or has that sort of door closed now?
I don't think so. It could have happened with Virginia still alive because she was willing, but we have to have live witnesses in court proceedings. We can't do it just based on a book, so I don't think it's likely.
Okay, well, thank you for your time tonight. Appreciate it, and thanks for your work with the victims as well. You're doing a sterling job. And yeah, my interpretation of the title of the book, Nobody's Girl, is that, and I've read some of it tonight. It's pretty, as I said, it's pretty sobering reading, is that this was a young girl who was abused as a child and was then passed around as a young lady, and even indeed as an adult, and you kind of get the feeling she just wanted to be loved and accepted by somebody and not just used as a plaything for powerful people and indeed her own family. It's very sad, and the fact she took her own life earlier this year just kind of says it all, doesn't it? Lisa, thank you so much. Appreciate your company.
Thank you.